What? We're not live, Ben.
What's happening?
I don't know.
We've been on an hour. We're live. We're live. I don't know what's
Oh.
happening. There's 19 people here. We've only just got... So, for the last 2 minutes, if you have been here, we went live. Hello, lads and ladies. No one was joining us, right? And it said 0 people. I was like, well, it says 19 people are waiting for us. We are live. Please, can someone just say they can see and hear me? Please, can I just have a confirmation? Can you see and hear me? Okay, in the chat down below. Hello, lads and ladies. Please, anyone, are we here? David, up the Brewers.
Yes,
Right.
we can hear it. Oh, thank God for that.
I've only left it. I genuinely thought I put the stream to private, but I was like, how can that work? Jake, how's the winning machine?
No, don't. You've made this joke once, and it's not going to work again. I'm fine, mate. I will get onto it. I will get onto the game later in a bit of detail, so don't stress. But no, I'm fine, mate. I am tired. I got back in. Well, I got back home about 19 hours ago from Crawley. We got in about 1 o'clock this morning. So tired. I'm on the energy drinks that Sue bought me.
Monster?
Nice. Not quite. Different brand. But
would I have had it before?
No, and I reckon one of the new T-Flop boys only just acquired it. So put it that way.
Okay. The big question in everyone's lips before we get into it.
Don't ask me about the winning
How was
machine.
the new ham sandwiches?
Yeah, I know. I got quite a lot of comments actually about the ham sandwiches, and I was sat in outside someone's house in Crawley eating them. They were absolutely superb. They were superb.
Lincoln City, the new League One. Ben, you can come again.
Is that a Bristol Rovers fan?
If you are new,
on the gap, lad. On the gap.
If you are new, please get liking and please subscribe. So tonight's running order is as followed down below. You can join in with all the action. And we are going to start off with Peterborough 5, Blackpool 1. Lots to discuss tonight. We will get on to Burton management soon. Peterborough have now been involved in the most goals in League One on 50, scoring 25 and conceding 25. Blackpool lost their last 3 games on the bounce. No wins in 4, drawing to Lincoln City in their last time they got a point as well. Peterborough have now only kept 1 clean sheet in 20 matches at home. Who was the last team they kept a clean sheet against? They won 3-0. That's a clue for you. Tuesday night.
Peterborough keeping a clean sheet?
Yeah.
Ooh, what, this season or
last season?
Ooh,
this game got rearranged.
Well, was it quite late in the season? Was it?
Yeah. Ooh, against a poor side.
Oh, Ben, that's it. Oh, it was Port Vale, wasn't it?
Yeah, bang on. Peterborough have taken 11 points from 7 matches now at home, and only Wrexham have actually scored more goals at home as well. And it's been a difficult start for them. They've had to readapt. Blackpool have now only won 9 of the last 25 away matches. Now, this Blackpool side are a side that hid under Neil Critchley, I felt, especially last year away from home. They weren't good enough. They weren't up to standards. They were quite spineless, weak, big moments they did pass. And yesterday they were all that. This isn't on Steve Bruce. This isn't on Steve Agnew, who's been taking control of the business of the football club this last week as well. It's a mentality problem with those group of players. Some of them aren't up to it. I think in so many areas they're weak of where they want to be on. Positive signs of Kyle Joseph, who scored his 6th goal of the season yesterday. He's nearing his highest ever goal scoring season on 9 for Oxford just a couple of years ago. Great result for the Posh, vintage Posh. When they're at the best, full throttle, they'll score lots of goals. When they're not, they're off it. But a great result for Peterborough.
Yeah, free-flowing, weren't they? And I will just give the disclaimer that because I only got home and then went straight to work, I've not been able to do as much prep as what I normally would have done. But it all sort of centred around one man, Nappers, and it's Kwame Poku, isn't it? I think he's got the most goal contributions in out of the whole 92 ahead of Cole Palmer. League's top scorer, lots of assists, and he ran the show again last night. Peterborough 4 big chances, and they score 5. They are so good going forward. You're looking at the lineup. Ricky J. Jones, Malik Mothersill, Kwame Poku, Joel Randa. They're all people that have done it at this level before. Maybe Mothersill to less than an extent, but going forward, I don't know if there's a better team, perhaps other than Birmingham, than this Peterborough side. They just completely cut people open. Blackpool, I don't know. I feel like they've got the away hiccups again, Ben, haven't they? Because you're looking at where else they've been away, but lost away at Mansfield. I know they won away at both Huddersfield and Charlton, but they lost to Crawley earlier this season as well. Only drew at Cambridge. So yeah, look, it's a tough one, and I wonder how on earth you try and kick that mentality out, because at Bloomfield Road they're just so good. Must be when they get on the coach, they just start to tremble a little bit.
What do you think it is? Because at Fortress Bloomfield Road, that they've been very good in previous years. Maybe this year struggled in key moments. Obviously, didn't beat Lincoln, lost to Barnsley, and lost to Stockport. But other than that, it's been wins, hasn't it, for them? And been very good. Do you think it's their house, their rules, and that North stands a big part of what they do? It's quite a kind of now closed stadium as well. When they go away, maybe, they maybe not have it their own way. They're very frantic and front foot in your face, and maybe don't take as many risks.
I think this is going to sound the most obvious comment ever, but I think they're a better home side than they are away side. When you play away from home, you have to give up more of the ball. You've not got to be on the front foot, and I think under Steve Bruce, Blackpool just are a front-footed side, and not many teams will let you. Not many teams will let you play on the front foot at their own gaff, so they have to play on the back foot, and then they end up getting beat. So I think that's more what it is. Blackpool are a side under Steve Bruce that like to dominate games through possession and through chance creation. And when you're away from home, you've got to ride storms. And I think when Blackpool ride a storm, they end up conceding a goal rather than coming through it unscathed. So, and clearly last night they had a couple of. It was more like bloody Hurricane Milton for them, wasn't it, last night, with all the goals flowing in? But yeah, I think it's. I think it's the atmosphere. They miss it. It's just genuinely. I know the away fans are very good at Blackpool, but the home fans are just on another level. I think it's difficult to replicate that away from home.
I think they're a smaller version of Plymouth. When you look at the stadium as well, that behind the goal fortress, and they suck the ball into the goal, and very in a unique part of the country as well, and so good at home. It is vital. I think this is the biggest talking point of the week, and I wanted this section to be probably the biggest section of the game week we're going to have. Burton Albion 2, Wycombe 3. That's Wycombe's only second win in 8 away at the Pirelli. Wycombe Wanderers have now scored 38% of the goals this year of they did last year. They scored 60 last year. They scored 23 this year. They've now won 7 matches this year and unbeaten in 9, drawing 2, 23 points taken, and have won 6 of those last 7 matches as well. Even last year, they won 8 of their last 13, ending the season really well. Matt Bloomfield had an experiment. And start the year, it started slow for them. They got that first win at home against Leyton Orient last year. If you remember, I think it was 3-2 at Adams Park on a Tuesday night. It was slow but sure. They got a win away at Bristol Rovers, I think, last year as well, earlier in the season as well. But it's been a real slow progression for them. And Matt Bloomfield was given time, taking over from, Ainsworth. It was always going to be tough for them because he was a legend. He had a style. Matt Bloomfield slightly identified, playing out from the back a little bit. Yes, it's still a bit of a long ball in there as well, but winning 8 of the last 13 last year, that takes it to 15 wins in 24 games. Matt, you average that over the course of the season. That's winning the league form. It really is. That's 30 wins. Now with Birmingham in the league, I'm not so sure. I think you're going to have to probably win 45 matches or minimum just to kind of get into the equation with them. That's Burton Albion. That's no win in 11 matches now, and lost 6 on the bounce. When I talked about when that Barnsley game that they just unfortunately came on the wrong side of, they were unbeaten in 4, but they'd drawn all 4. Good point away at Rotherham just before it. For me, the Pirelli Stadium is an open stadium, and it used to be a fortress. It used to be like a Crawley, like a Lincoln, a horrible place to go to. Not anymore. That's 12 defeats and 14 home matches now, only winning 1. That came against Reading at the end of last year, which ended up keeping the Brewers in League One. They've conceded 30 in that time. That's 2.14 per game, only scoring 12.85 a game. We'll get on to the key decision round.
Should we do Wycombe first? Can I do Wycombe
We'll do
first?
Wycombe first. We'll get on to Robinson. But Wycombe, how good is this side? 23 goals scored. They've only lost to Blues and Wrexham. Phenomenal, aren't they, in every department?
23 points from 27 available, Ben. That is, like you say,
bad.
that is. It's not bad, is it? It's a similar sort of run as to a certain team went on last year, but we won't talk about them because they lost last night. But really impressive from
last year.
Hey?
I talked about them. I thought they got promoted, didn't they?
Yeah, nearly. In my head, they did. This Wycombe side are really, really clever. And I was speaking to David, the Burton fan, our residential Burton fan, in the chat, and he was earmarking it down as a game that he felt that Burton could win. And I thought, I don't know, because Wycombe were just so good. I mean, you saw them on the weekend with Kone coming on and scoring a hat trick. Yeah, I know, Ryan. Tell me about it. They've just got threats all over the pitch. It was Gideon Kadoa, who they had on loan last year. He ended up scoring. Luke Lee, he was on the bench on Saturday. He didn't get on. He's contributing. They're good. And there was that moment, wasn't there, where they were. I think it was when Bluefield first came in, and they were sort of in the playoff picture, and then they sort of completely fell like a stone, didn't they? Because they were adapting. And then last year, they just needed to iron out the inconsistencies. And here they are now, 8 weeks into a new season, and they are playing the exact way Matt Bloomfield likes to play, on the ball, keeping possession, keeping the ball really tidy. 56% possession yesterday, but lots of passes, nearly 100 more than Burton yesterday. So effective when they go forward. 2 big chances, 14 total shots away from home is incredibly, incredibly good. And like I say, they've got threats all over the pitch. Players that came off the bench last night, nappers for Wycombe. Fred Onyedinma, who we've seen when they got promoted out at this level, was outstanding. Gareth McCleary, we know, has been a stalwart at this level for Wycombe. He's been so good for them. Dan Udoh scored 11 goals for Shrewsbury last year. And Matt Butcher, who I think he was part of the Plymouth Argyle squad that ended up getting promoted anyway. So those 4 players. And then you've got Cameron Humphreys, who is probably one of the brightest young players coming out of the Premier League academies. A fantastic player, and they've got so many threats all over the pitch. Bez Labala going back to Burton, Richard Kone, Gadoa, like I said. But in midfield, that's where they hold the anchor. Aaron Morley been so impressed since his loan with Caleb Taylor as well. Someone that I think when we first did our League One draft, Ben, I put Caleb Taylor in my team, and no one sort of batted an eyelid. Now I think 2 years later, you're seeing exactly why I did that, because he's just so talented. So, yeah, really good side. And Wycombe's next couple of games, they've got Leighton Orient at home on Saturday. Following that up, Wigan away, Huddersfield, Lincoln, Exeter, Reading, Shrewsbury. So up until Christmas, they've got a favourable run, and they'll consider it favourable. So looking forward to seeing how they progress. But they're a serious, serious side, and I think a lot of people underestimate them for the playoffs this year, including myself. And I wouldn't be surprised if they get there at all.
For me, I agree. If you gave that Wycombe squad to Wrexham, to Bolton, to Rotherham, you'd be thinking you'd fear Wycombe a lot more because of the name. I think people thought last night at Burton Albion, and maybe myself included, the name Wycombe Wanderers. You don't think about the squad, you think about the name. Scowen, Morley, Humphreys, in midfield, Luke Leahy, Humphreys in there as well. You've got Kone, you've got Udoh. These are phenomenal players at this level. They are good players, and Kone's improving. The young players as well, and they're going on a new footway as well. And they were good in moments last year. They scored 4 away at Fleetwood and were phenomenal. Probably the performance of the season, where Dale Taylor scored, I think, twice in the game. So there is bright spots. Gareth McCleary looked to maybe slow down a little bit, but he's come this season fitter. He's a lot sharper, and he's 38 now. I think he is. He's getting on. He's really, really good. The big talking point at 10:30 today, Burton Albion confirmed the departure of Mark Robinson, appointed just 4 months ago. Martin Patterson did keep the Brewers up, but that wasn't enough to keep his job. He did then go and join Michael Duff at Huddersfield. And then Robinson came in, and for me, he did very well with Wimbledon. He was that stalwart, was there quite a while from what I recall, and he did well. He got results. It was 1-3, 1-4. Now, that Wimbledon squad was always tipped to go down. Now, for me, it would have been a great appointment for Burton Albion maybe 3 or 4 years ago when they didn't have the budget for him to work with that firefighter element, but adapting of football. They signed 18, 19 players, and I think we're
23
Burton Albion,
players. 23 players.
23 plays in the end. That's a new squad. Crocombe and Sweeney are the only two realistically that were there last year that have been regularly in the team this year. There is a couple more, but those two are the main ones. When there's that high turnover, you've got to get them in the squad. It took Danilo Orsi maybe 4 or 5 games, to get up and running. Don't worry, I'm not going to say it. It took Danilo Orsi a little bit of time. He's now up to 5 goals for the season. He's actually
got 5 goals.
5 goals. Yeah. Burton have scored, I think, 12 goals this year, 7 of which have come from Danilo Orsi, either scoring or assisting. So he's got up to, speed with things, especially in the last, 5-6 games, especially. And I just think that it was not the greatest of appointment for what they wanted to go for straight away. They wanted to change the whole style, which a lot of clubs want to. And Burton Albion have been this hard-working club, fight for everything, fight for every penny. You've got to get your value from it. To all of a sudden splashing cash and being a club unrecognisable of what they've been for the last 15, 20 years of getting up through the non-league pyramid. So it will take a while. And unfortunately, a man's lost his job 11 games in. He drew 4 of his first 5. And in the space of a month, there's a long time in football, he's now lost, 5 on the row, 6 on the bounce. For context, he lost away at Reading, who are a really good side. He lost away at Blackpool, who you wouldn't be surprised that'll be in the top 10 this year. Lost at home to Barnsley. He's lost at home to Wycombe, who are a good side. He lost Lincoln at the opening day, but I'm talking about the last 6 games more. The Bristol Rovers one is the one that stands out. I understand that. And they lost 2-1 to Bolton, narrowly. So, for context, they've been losing to good sides. The next 3, I believe, are Cambridge, Crawley, and Shrewsbury. Yeah. I generally believe 3 more games, and people can go, but then we're 7 points adrift, we could get more. I genuinely believe 14 games would have been, that's enough to judge. I think 11 games is really harsh. It's a third of the season. I think it's very, if you want to bring 23 new players in that he has handpicked, that he wants to play that way of football for those players, he's picked his captain, he's implemented them, he's had a pre-season with him, to rip it up, to go again, I think is very, very rash. And they can go and bring someone more experience. I don't think he was the right appointment in the first place. I don't buy this playing the right way. I don't get this.
We disagree on this.
So me and Jake disagree, and I think there could be an argument here. And I think that managers now are seen in a different way. I think that managers like Phil Parkinson would struggle to get jobs at bigger football clubs because they want to play the right way, right? Where Phil Parkinson's style isn't long ball at all. It's very much frantic. Get the ball, play out from the back, but get the ball very quickly forward instead of this dominate with 60-65%. And I think clubs are almost, instead of handpicking managers that have done well before, because Robinson's stats win-wise weren't great. I know he was at Wimbledon, granted, but I think my eyes, they're looking at it. How much possession did he have? What's his expected goals? What's his philosophy? They're not looking what he's done. He's in results-driven business. And Burton Albion needed to do that. They've now got to bring they want to go away from the firefighter element, but they're 7 points adrift. And yes, we're 11 games in, and it means nothing. Still 3 games. So it's you saw Fleetwood last year. When you get caught adrift, it's hard to catch. I just think it's 3 games maybe too early. And I think that he's a lovely bloke, maybe not quite right for them. And the football was okay. They were in games, but you can't keep conceding 2 or 3 a game.
Do you know what I feel for him? Because he's up sticks and left his dream job at Chelsea. He's a Chelsea fan. He was working in their 21 setup, and Burton promised him this. You're going to come in, we're going to back you, we're going to promise you, we're going to give you all sorts. And they gave him all sorts, and they delivered for them to sack him 11, 12 games into a season. And like you say, with them 3-1 winnable ones coming up in Crawley, Cambridge, and Shrewsbury, they're games that you would earmark Burton certainly to get something out of. I think it's incredibly difficult when you, and I'm fully repeating what you said here, Napper, so jump in if I'm not, but the bringing in 23 players, not all players that have got EFL experience. They signed a lad from non-league, they signed a lad from America, from France, who doesn't have a lot of EFL experience, and it's cost them. And you can say we're only 11 games in, but you've got to give managers time. Like, and I remember when Palace sacked Frank de Boer after 4 games, I thought, what on earth's going on? This gives me similar sort of vibes. And look, I completely agree with what you say about football can be played in so many different ways, Ben. And Lincoln obviously do not play the 90% possession, keep the ball, pop it around. We play very much, get it forward and press and counter press and stuff like that. But you have to accept that the best manager and the best team in the world is Pep Guardiola, and he has had an effect on English football. And, well,
they're not called Lincoln City.
Very good.
Where's their cathedral?
Yeah, well, Manchester does have a cathedral, believe it or not. But
not quite nice.
It's not as nice. You're right. It's not on a card that you've got anyway. But yeah, look, it's he's searching for it now. Look, but Pep Guardiola has had such an influence on English football that teams have seen the dominance that he's got, and they want to play like that. Exactly that. It's not as nice as that. No one from Manchester can tell me theirs is better than that. Anyway,
you need to, like when Burton had the Pirelli, you need to all have these at the Sinsel Bank next game.
What, for Stockport at home? I'd tell you what, they need a rocket up their arse. Up the backside is what they need. Apologies.
Thanks a lot. That's my monetisation gone.
Yeah,
Become a member down below. I've just uploaded. I need the money because he's gone. Become a member. $1.99 4 videos extra.
Anyway, look, I've had chats with David today, and I had to unfortunately break the news to him that they'd sacked Mark Robinson. And I think, and I know we'll probably disagree with what they need, but I think what they need to do is continue the project. And I think Brian Barry Murphy, we saw him implement this style at Rochdale. It didn't quite work because he didn't have the players. I think Burton have the players, and they've shown it in certain games this year that they can play out from the back successfully and progress the ball up the pitch nicely, which is what Brian Barry Murphy looks to do. He's a City youth coach. He's done the City group. He's like Des Buckingham. He's like the rest of them. He's like Arteta, like Lee Carsey, whatever. He's been in League One. I know he took a team down, right? But I think if Brian Barry Murphy was to come to Burton, implement a style of football, ingrain a philosophy like this NFG are trying to do, take them down, come back up, much better side. I think that wouldn't be the end of the world. I know it would be bad for them now because they got relegated, but how many times do clubs get relegated and we see a reset? Ipswich, Sunderland, Sheffield Wednesday, Derby County, whatever. It happens at the level below. And hopefully Fleetwood are going through that now. The only reason I think that Brian Barry Murphy might well be put off from this is that they've tried to hire a coach similar to Brian Barry Murphy, but they've sacked him 11 games in. Now, Brian Barry Murphy, having known people that have worked at the academy in at Man City and worked under him, he's very particular. He will want things done the way that he wants. He'll want a B team. He'll want certain coaches. He'll want certain things to happen, nutrition, analysis, things like that. And it's whether if Burton are going to go and pick him, then they need to back him fully. Because I feel like Robbo was brought in, but the sporting director made all the signings. And when you'd have those two entities working separately, it doesn't work. An example, I'm not trying to make this about Lincoln, of a sporting director or director of football and a head coach working all together is Lincoln and the recruitment, etc. So come at me and tell me we lost to Crawley. I don't care, right? But it works. And I think Burton needs to do something similar. I know I've seen the other names linked. Pete Wild is one that's been linked. Wouldn't be a bad appointment, I don't think, but isn't long term. I think we're talking earlier about Schumacher. I don't think Schumacher would take a job like Burton. Not personally. I don't know if his style of play would suit the squad that they've currently got. I interviewed someone a couple of weeks ago that might well be interested in the job, but I don't know if Burton fans would want to take him back in Dino. But
do you not think they've forgotten the non-negotiables?
then they've forgotten clearly they have because they've not won a game. So
non-negotiables.
Well, I think Burton needs to learn the non-negotiables again.
They've had no good weeks in training as well. And
no,
talk about the training ground as well, though. That's got to be an attraction,
massive.
St George's Park.
Yeah,
it's the best training ground in the division. Obviously, that it's not owned by them, is it? But they've got the facilities there. We'll come on to that, but thanks for everyone for watching that part as well. And keep your comments coming. We will be going through the show. Not everyone's going to get 20 minutes. But if you are new to the channel, please give us a like. That'd be appreciated. Give us a like, give us a subscription. And also, we've just uploaded a members video yesterday. You get one every week. There's actually 2 going up this week, $1.99. There's over 24 videos down there now. So join as a member. Tell you what, if we get 3 new members in this stream, I'll give away 5 memberships for free. So get down below and join as a member as well. So
do you know what I feel like right now, Ben?
What?
Do you know when when you were younger, you had a doctor's appointment as a kid?
Yeah.
And you really didn't want to go because you knew they were going to take blood or like they were going to do something to you that was going to hurt. I feel like you are my. Me
and Jake had an argument. Well, we have an argument. I basically put a tweet up that I didn't like yesterday, and I've known to get maybe occasionally, maybe now and again, not be very happy after a Fleetwood game, and I will show my frustrations. I'm like that, as I am. But Jay, I thought calling them spineless. Whereas if you won 3-0, it'll be Ethan.
But they didn't. They lost 3-0.
For me, I think Lincoln are a good club and they're a good fan base and a good team, and they will be up there this year. But I think they need to understand where they've come from. I think a lot of Lincoln fans and Lincoln players thought they'd rock up at Crawley on a tight pitch thinking they'd win the game and complacent. And Crawley will thrive from that. Hang on a minute, we're Crawley. This is how we came up last year. Lincoln are the first team that realistically have had more possession than them in a game. And Crawley have won the game.
Possession yesterday.
We had 55% possession yesterday.
Oh, that's why we lost. We had the ball too long.
And you look at it, Crawley.
Michael have sorted it.
So you look at it, they've adapted of Crawley, and that's really good. Swan, Darcy, and Hepburn, Murphy with goals just after the break, late on in games, and one through the middle of the game. So it's one of those. And look, Crawley had 4 shots, Lincoln limited to 2. Lincoln had a lot of Lincoln had 10 corners in the match, Jake. It just didn't do enough with him. For me, I think that it's been a frustrating couple of days, 3 days for you, but there's an opportunity to bounce back. At the start of the year, again, I'll say this again, you'd have taken 5 wins, 3 draws, 3 defeats. You'd have taken it. You would have.
I would have done. But I think
there's context there. You've taken 18 points. You're 1 point off the playoffs. There's still a lot to play about. Yes, you weren't great yesterday, but you played Crawley. It's a tight pitch. They're a good side. From my perspective, the players are a good group of players. You've got a few injuries out at the minute, a couple of individual errors. I know you're angry about a couple of other things, but take the rough with a smooth. And when you win, you'll be, these are the best group ever. But when you lose, you never get too high, Jake. Because sometimes I think last year, maybe, got a bit carried away. We could say, never get too low. That's generally how I'm starting to think with Fleetwood now. Never get too high, never get too low. You've got an opportunity to bounce back next week. And it's a good one. You've got to bounce back.
Yeah, what disappointed me, Ben, was we went from I know we lost the Blues on Saturday, but we played really well. And I saw how high the performance levels were against Birmingham. And I went, right, if we play like that against Crawley, fine, we'll play really well. The frustrating thing, and I suppose this is what it's about having a young team. Thanks, Matt. You're not too bad yourself. I think that having a young team, sometimes you're going to get this. Yes, John, we did lose. Look, the first half, I think I have no gripes with the first half. I think we hit the post. We had a couple of chances that we didn't make the most out of. We would certainly had them penned in, and we could have scored if we'd have been more clinical. And worked the ball better. We could have scored, but Crawley, Judge Woolacott in goal was clean. Everything was fantastic. And fair enough. And then the half time comes in the second half, and to be honest, the Crawley, like Ryan's put there, Crawley just wanted it more in the second half. We'll get to that. Will Swan scored the first goal. It was good movement, but Sean Rowan stupidly dives in, and it's a mistake. But he's 21, and I have to realise that young players make mistakes because we run with younger players, and this is what happens. Which is me trying to be extremely rational, because coming out of the ground yesterday, I thought I was extremely. Do you remember how you were, Nappers, after we?
You're not mad after how I was last year, and I'm now. Yeah. I just genuinely believe I've learned a lot from last season, and I will be. Tony sees me how animated I am in game, but it's finding that anger. And look, there's a long way to go.
Yeah, and look, second. I mean, I'll come on to Carl Brook because I thought it was horrific. But Crawley wanted it more. They did, and they went 1-0 up, and they sat back, and we dilly-dallied with the ball because we don't like having the ball, and we played stupid passes, and we were really soft. The second goal absolutely infuriated me. We've got two lads just flicking the, Nappers. If you've played Sunday League or any extent, you're told put your foot through the bloody ball and like don't just flick at it because you don't know where it's going to go. And that's when they get the second. And the third one, I think, is just Dan Catchin is on the counter. Carl Brook allowed WWE-style moves in the penalty area on Paudie O'Connor. Not once, but twice. We should have had a penalty. Absolutely. The referee's not the reason we lost the game. The players are the reason we lost the game. And that frustrates me because Crawley on paper, away from home, is a very winnable game for Lincoln, who want to get promoted this season. And that was the annoying thing. The thing that really annoyed me, and I'll be careful what I say, is that the players, only a handful of the players come over and clap the fans. Some players, I won't name names, went straight down the tunnel. And I don't appreciate that because we have travelled 400 miles. We've spent a lot of money on fuel. We've spent money on tickets, money on food, coming to watch them, giving them. And, the thing with players is, Ben, they'll take the praise, right? They'll take the praise. They'll come over, give it the fist pumps when they win. But then as soon as they lose, they're down the tunnel. I don't agree with that. I find that inexcusable. And I'm quite happy to argue with anyone about that. You should always thank the fans when you go away from home. Always, regardless of the result. Lose 6-0, don't care. Do it. So that added to my anger last night. That really did add to my anger because I've spent a lot of money going to watch them and they didn't. It's just one of them things, isn't it, Ben? You lost last night. I bet Brendan Weirdo came right up to the front of the Fleetwood fans and thank you all for coming. And
he clapped. I was out by the time that happened.
Yeah, so it's frustrating. And the good thing is we've got Stockport on Saturday, Northampton at home this week, and they're two again winnable games for Lincoln. And hopefully we need to bounce back, and the players have to win me over. But I do agree with what Katie said there. Crawley are not as bad a side as people make out. Crawley are a good side. And I've been banging the drum on here, Ben, certainly for a couple of weeks, that Crawley's performances have not got the results they warranted. Last night, they were exceptional out of possession. They did to us, Ben, what we first did to other teams when we got in the league. So I have to respect that. And you know what? Fair play to Crawley. He played really well. We weren't at our mettle, and Michael Scavada said when you're 1 or 2% off, you lose a game of football in this league because it's so competitive. So well done to Crawley. I'm very happy to take all the criticism, salty, whatever. But yeah, that's my reflection, and I've tried to be as nice as I can be because if you'd have done this just under 24 hours ago, I'd have been a lot more. I'd have been red. So there you are.
what I love about this channel, we are 37 minutes in and we have done
Sorry.
3 League One games.
That's my
Three.
fault. That's my fault.
No, to be fair, we've had a managerial sacking. And as you will have noticed with this match of the day running order, if you look at the running order, so if you ever want to know if we've done your team, just have a look what team we're talking about now. And if you are after that, we've not done it. The next team is Wigan 1, Mansfield 2, and they'll gradually get less as the games get worse as well. Mansfield have got 23 points from 11 games. That is halfway to safety. Burton Albion, I think, stayed up with 46 last year. They've won 7, drawn 2, lost 2, and yet again, won. Babo Adiko's really misplaced pass, and it's a poor one. Allows Will Evans to score an absolute screamer from 25 yards out. Then Stella Asgard got Wigan back into the game, their bright spark, until 9 minutes later, Keanu Bacchus scored. And you've probably got 3 really good goal of the night contenders there. I thought Keanu Bacchus was a really good strike from the kind of outside the box. I thought even Thelo Asgard's goal would probably be best goal of the night in my eyes for the teamwork of the goal as well. But Mansfield have gone away from home with a 0.27 expected goals, 35% possession. Only had 2 shots on target, but won the game. And that's what they need to do. That's how they've responded. And Clough's side are hard-working. They played 3-5-2 last night. Wayne and Evans up front. Evans has scored 5 goals now since coming in as well. Blake Tracy and Aikens on the wing. They've got experience. They've got athleticism in Bacchus as well. Barry is a player that can play anywhere as well. Thought Christy Pym made a couple of good saves with his feet as well. 1,600 Mansfield fans there last night. Absolute phenomenal support, loud and proud as well. Great result for them. Yes, they've got tough games coming up. They've only got Birmingham, Wrexham coming up as well. But those are games they can enjoy because they've done the work against sides they should be beating. Sides like Crawley, sides like Northampton, sides like Shrewsbury, sides like Cambridge. But also beating sides that are similar to themselves, or maybe you'd expect to finish above them, like a Blackpool, like a Wigan as well. But this Birmingham 12:30 kickoff, at the one call, why not? Because it's their stadium, it's their house, their rules. Why can't they go there and win?
Don't tee me up to give Mansfield any credit, Ben. That's just not. Come on. No, look, they were very good last night, Mansfield. I will give credit. They're fans. They travel in numbers, and they are a very good group of fans. Just a shame about where they're all from. But yeah, no, they played well last night, and the goals are really well taken. They are Will Evans. I mean, he's sort of taken like a duck to water at this level, isn't it? It's a great strike, but it's from a Wigan. If you're from a Wigan persuasion, you're really annoyed with Babadico for giving the ball away. They get themselves back in the game. Really nice finish from Thelo Asgard. We've seen it before, seen it in the Championship, what he can do. And then Keanu Bacchus, Ben, I've been on it about Keanu Bacchus ever since they signed him, coming from St Mirren, because lads who you buy from St Mirren don't tend to do too badly unless they walk down the tunnel straight after a defeat. Then
shut up. He would be the best since sliced bread.
I know. Ignore me. Keanu Bacchus, it was a really good strike. So look, really good 3 points in Mansfield. I heard the fans singing, "We always win away." Little asterisk next to that. Not true. But yeah, they can enjoy games against Birmingham and Wrexham because they've done the hard work. They've beaten the teams that if they want to stay up that they needed to beat, and they've accumulated the points. A lot like Stevenage last year, although I can't quite see this Mansfield group sticking around the top end of the league purely because I don't see them. Well, I'm not saying it's a bad thing, but I don't think they've got that next level up. They've got solid League One players, but I don't think they've got top end League One players like a lot of the rest of them have done. So, yeah, I don't know. I think Mansfield have done pretty well. Wigan are just inconsistent. They're just so inconsistent. Up and down. What are you laughing at?
Nothing.
What are you laughing at?
All I'm saying is, you might have seen me go to my side a little bit. So I'm playing a game that I like to call Jake Bingo.
Oh,
at the start, I had nine things in my little square. Now I had Ethan Erahan. You're going to have a go at him in my bottom corner.
Yeah.
Bristol Rovers slander. You had a go at Bristol Rovers and you went, you support Bristol Rovers. Told you about a player, Keanu Bacchus. You've already done that horrific laugh of yours. You've mentioned the word promotion and Lincoln in the same thing. Mansfield ticked me off when you're going to give Mansfield no praise. There's one more yet, but we've not talked about their club. Lincoln slander for last night. The top one in the corner. Better hang on, just cover that one.
Sandwiches.
Referee mistakes. That's always on there. So that's 8 out of 9. I just need one more for you. And believe me, we'll get it.
Is it coming?
Yeah,
Can you give me a clue as to what game it's at?
No, because then you won't say it. Then you won't say it, boy. You won't say it.
Okay.
Exeter 1, Reading 2. Reading have been really poor away from home since coming down to this level. They've been really good at home. Exeter really good at home, but maybe away from home not found a way. But this year been slightly different as well. Wareham's first goal in the league as well, so really good strike as well. And then Reading double the money as well. Good support on a Tuesday night as well. Exeter a side that did dominate this game in terms of possession, 2.38 expected goals in the game. They had 18 shots to 11. In terms of shots and passes, they were very similar, but Reading got that win. Reading have now won 6 of their 11 games and 19 points on the board, scoring 19. Exeter just inside the playoffs as well. Two sides that are playing good football under good managers that are feeling confident. Exeter will try and respond because they've got some tough games coming up. They've got Huddersfield away, Charlton, and then the visit of Lincoln, then got to go away at Wrexham. So there's a tough month coming for them. Whereas Reading feel really confident, especially if they can start winning away from home because they want to be in the brand of the playoffs, but they've got to start doing the hard work away from home. They've got Bristol Rovers on Saturday, then you've got away at Stockport.
Was that on your bingo card? Surely.
No, it wasn't. I was going to put it on the Bristol Rovers slander.
Yeah, look, really impressed by Reading. I watched them on Saturday, like I said, on Sunday, and I was really impressed with their clinicality, and they took chances when they're on top, and they did the same again yesterday, taking the lead really early on, and then there was a little bit of Exeter pressure in the middle of the half, and then just before the end of the half, they make it 2-0 through Craig. So yeah, it was a good performance in the first half. Reading, like the chap there said, that the press was really difficult for Exeter to deal with. And they've got young lads in the team, Reading, and I think that helps if you want to be a vertical pressing team. It massively helps. And under Ruben Sellers, they've got an extremely talented head coach that I think certainly could do a job at the level above or with a more stable League One club and get them, automatically promoted. Exeter naturally they come back into the game. I think when teams are chasing, they end up their numbers look a little bit better. I think when you're 2-0 up away from home, you tend to sit and go, right, well, let's just hold it. Or if you're 2-0 up in general, or whether you're at home against a team like Morecambe or anything like that. So, remember that, Nappers? Thought so. And Exeter get the way into it just before the hour. And then I'm thinking, well, Exeter, based on how well they performed on Thursday, I think they might well have gone and gone. You'll remember they had the extra couple of days rest as well for Exeter. So, and the pressure just wasn't able to pay. They had chances, they had shots in that second half, 3 big chances, 15 total shots, but they couldn't break down Reading, and and that's really good because, like we say, Reading have stereotypically been a home side since getting relegated into this league. So, look, Exeter are a good side. It's clearly an off night for them, but like you say, tough run of games for them coming up. I think the FA Cup game is quite tough for them as well against Barnet. They're high flying in the National League, but yeah, like you say, Huddersfield, Wrexham, Lincoln, Wycombe, Stockport, Barnsley, all to come before Christmas. We might start to see what we saw the Exeter slump last year. We might see that start to come into effect.
Great comment there from Adam. Reading 3rd in the home table, 21st in the away table, but their away games have been against 1st, 2nd, and 11th, and 15th and the 16th in the home table. Yeah, I think it goes back to last year a little bit as well. I think that you've kind of got to look like that. Young players can maybe express themselves, especially at home. And we see it. A lot of sides are better at home. Barnsley, maybe not. Still another game without a win for them at home. Davis Keeler-Dunn did get opening the scoring for the Redmen. And then Charlton did level it with Luke Berry on the 77th minute. And they thought they had all 3 points with Luke Berry's cheeky goal as well. Until Max Watters pops up with an unusual goal as well. Two similar sides. Charlton, after a good start, still on 1.5 points per game, by the way. 18 points. They are only a point off 5th in Huddersfield, but they're 11th in the table. How close is this league when you look at it between Blackpool, who are, well, you could even go as far as, well, Wigan, who have played 12 games on 13 points. They're only 6 behind Huddersfield, and I know there's only been 36 points available, but this league is incredibly tight. Between Barnsley and Charlton, well, they both won 5. Barnsley have drawn a game more. Charlton have lost a game more. This is how tight it is. I think Charlton would have taken a point before the game. Barnsley's very similar size as well in matchup. In terms of statistics, again, Barnsley did dominate the game in terms of shots. But again, at home, they've had 9 shots on target, but not been able to win the game. You know, Charlton at home have been good. Barnsley have only won 1 in 6 at home. They've conceded 10 goals. At home, they concede way too many goals and in too many cheap areas, in too many key moments, either it's in the first 15 minutes or the last 15 minutes.
Yeah, very much an away side, Barnsley, aren't they? I think we saw that by going to Blackpool on Saturday and getting a result. When Davis Keeler-Dunn, Ben, put them 1-0 up, I sort of just thought that I was watching the scores come in and I just thought, well, this just seems very Barnsley, going 1-0 up at home, but still somehow dropping points. I think they went in front against Northampton, didn't they? They went. They've gone in front a few times at home this year, and they've ended up surrendering points. I will admit, when I saw that, because I was walking back to the car when the Luke Berry had scored in the 93rd minute, I thought that's a really good win for Charlton, really solid win. But Max Watters, look, he's not. I think he's someone that we gave a bit of, not stick, but we sort of said, is he up to the level at the start of the season? Because he hadn't scored many goals in a Barnsley shirt. You know, we have to remember that Max Watters
scored a couple for Barnsley away at MK Dons.
Yeah, but he scored a lot of goals. He made his name really at Crawley, didn't he? And then moved up to Cardiff, and it didn't work out for him. So clearly, there is a good centre forward in there. And once he got on a run at Crawley, he kept scoring and scoring and scoring. So I think he has the potential to be good enough for them. But look, again, it feels like a really good game because there's 2 goals in added time. But in reality, I think the game probably should have ended 1-1, given the way that both teams defended the 2 goals in the last couple of minutes. So better point for Charlton, I would suspect, than Barnsley. Really need to get that home form going, Barnsley. But Charlton, like you say, 18 points from 12 games, 1.5. If they can increase that by 0.1 or 0.2 a game between now and the end of the year, they stand every chance of getting in the top 6. So, look, 2 good sides, 2 teams that I think will be around the same area of the table in that top 6 conversation for sure. Perhaps you just think they've just both got to be a little bit more consistent than what they are currently.
Me and Jake had a chat about this the other day. How many points do you think it'll take? And I think it'll be about 77 to get you in this year into the top 6. And that's looking at about 1.7-ish, 1.75. Yep. I think Wycombe got in a few years ago on points per game on 1.69 because I think they had a flag 1.69 is the magic number. Hello, Birmingham fans. I've had to make you wait. Big game this, and one thing I said on my TikTok before, if you haven't gone and follow my TikTok, Cod Vlogs, lots of content over there as well. I said that Bolton are a good side at this level, but there's the difference between good sides and then Birmingham.
Birmingham made turn my heating off, Ben. Bear with me.
Oh, there you are. He's on a budget, the boy. That wasn't on my bingo card. Birmingham made Bolton look very average for a good team, and you can't do that. Bolton have got to look better in games. For me, in so many games this year, they've looked tired, have Bolton. They get to about 60, 70 minutes in, and they look jaded. They really do. They don't look the same force. And what Bolton Wanderers have looked good on in the last few weeks, the last few seasons have been the fitness levels, for one. Second, then getting crosses into the box, stopping crosses, keeping clean sheets, playing with their midfield 3. When they play in midfield 2, Sheehan's nowhere near it. Sheehan cannot play in the midfield 2. I genuinely don't believe that. And the forward areas are very similar in Collins, McAtee, Adebayo and Dion Charles. But Birmingham take nothing away. Absolute phenomenal. Now, both sides are a couple of the only sides when they've gone in front, they've not lost or not dropped a point. Birmingham won the last 5 matches at home for the first time since 2005. Wolves, who got 103 points at this level, got 26 points after 11. Blues have got 28. Longest unbeaten run at United Park or St Andrews since 2015, where they were 15 games unbeaten that year. The key to their success and the way they press from midfield is absolutely phenomenal. Like, they press in packs and they are on you like you wouldn't believe. They are on you like within a second as the ball switches, and Bolton absolutely caved and they were all over the place. They were scared, like running in fear. And it all comes from Peake in midfield and Iwata. I genuinely think that Peake is one of the best midfielders in the division, and I think Iwata is the best midfielder in the division by about 10 yards because Iwata plays 10 yards next to him. I think genuinely that they are the best midfield two. And I did say at the start, I think Barnsley are the best midfield three. I absolutely got that wrong. Now I've actually seen them in the flesh for a sustained period. You can see the difference, the quality in terms of the pressing, the passing yards. Their first goal came from a press. It did. So Peake pressed high up the pitch, got the ball out wide, a cross comes in, out to it, and then he shot Iwata into the far corner, an absolute stunning goal. So for me, that is what you want to see. Absolute phenomenal, those two. And they are the key to the success. Yes, you've got Stansfield. Yes, you've got Alpha May. Yes, you've got, Dykes, or you've got anyone else in there as well in the forward area that you can mention. There's too many to mention. Williamson, whoever it is on the day. It was Anderson the other day.
It was.
But those midfield two are the difference. No one else have plays like them. You can get players like Stansfield that can score 20 goals. You can get players like Alfie May that maybe aren't quite as good. Alfie May's pressing yesterday was phenomenal. As soon as they switched back Bolton to the back line, he was on it. He didn't score, he wasn't involved, wasn't his best game, but he still created opportunities for himself. And Dion Charles kind of played up front on his own. He was isolated, I felt, from the bits I watched. Whereas an Alfie May or someone Stansfield makes room for himself. And this Blues side, tactically in games, are phenomenal. And Davis has come in, first real big job. Birmingham City, League One, to get them up, the expectation, 27,000 there last night, is massive, absolute massive. And he's gone in there, and you've seen before where at Ipswich, at Sunderland, they've not done it. You've heard the success, you've heard it before. This Birmingham side are by some distance the best side I've ever seen in this league. Phenomenal supporters, phenomenal midfield, and good from back to toe.
Did you just read out what I said about them on Sunday? Sorry, that just sounded exactly the same as what
now
I
I've watched them. Now I watched.
There's two words to me, Ben.
I watched 50 minutes. I watched a good
words.
45, 50 minutes.
I just want 2 words. 2 words. Tomoki Iwata. That's it. That's all I got to say. Unbelievable. He is. I think he is probably. I watched a lot of champ games this year. Yeah, the Mark Leonard came off the bench on Saturday after 83 minutes. I felt I was nearly shouting from the other side of the stadium, "Free my man, Mark Leonard." That's what I was trying to do. But yeah, no reason you feel sorry for him, because I bet he came to Blues thinking, I get promotion on my CV. It'd be great. I'll play loads of games, ready for the championship. And then they go and bring in Iwata.
You know what's good as well? I think you look at, I've said it many times, and this is the last thing I'll say on Birmingham. I think that them coming down has been the best thing for them, because they've been able to reset as a football club, maybe buy players that they wouldn't have done in the championship, take a few risks. Like Iwata, he's a player that you would probably sign in the championship, but they can shine, and you're winning games, and the fans that maybe didn't come as much, or the and young fans. If you were probably, obviously, I know they won the cup a few years ago as well. Maybe if you're between the ages of 16 and 21, that you can remember this is the best time to be a Birmingham fan, rather than after all the mid-years in the championship, which are good. This coming down the division, winning games of football. Also, next time you go into the championship, you go with a smile on your face. So you're not going to get any complaints about money's power from me.
I'll tell you why I think Blues are better than everybody else. Teams come down, and Gab made me aware of this point. teams come down in absolute strife. Big clubs come down in strife. Sunderland, ownership issues. Derby, ownership issues. Ipswich had Marcus Evans in charge and weren't ran on the pitch like a championship team. They hadn't been for years. Blues, under the ownership model that they've got with Wagner, with Tom Brady, and all the chaps involved, and all the ladies involved as well, they have got themselves together. They are running like a Premier League club off the pitch, commercially, media-wise, in terms of sporting directors. They've got a great young head coach who's got massive upside potential. Yes, it helps. They've got a budget, but they've not come down with any issues. And that's why people sort of thought that, Birmingham were just going to be another big club that are going to come down and struggle like everyone else did because League One's so hard. But they hadn't noticed that Birmingham are more well-run than the best well-run clubs in this league. And that, I think a lot of people underestimate how effective a really well-run club is. And Blues, yes, they've got the budget. Yes, they've got the best players. They've got the biggest budget, whatever. If you're not run properly, you don't get anywhere. You know, you see teams that were in tournament, they always get relegated. All of them, Morecambe, Accrington, Fleetwood last year, they get relegated. Port Vale, ownership, they just get relegated, all of them. But Birmingham, they are. And, I've won a fair few Birmingham fans back after my commentary of the season on the weekend. But they are just so well. They're immaculate. They are. There's nothing wrong with them. My only gripe with Birmingham, and I think, and I understand it's not anything to do with the fans or the club or whatever. It's one player, and I doubt. I know they've spent money on him, so I know he's going to be a good player. What?
Blue spending money.
No, it's not about the spending. It's not about him. It's not about him. It's not about it. The only player that I think area in which I think they could improve is on the wing. I think they need. I think they need a couple of better wingers.
I agree with that. If you want to go up, they're all right now. But if you want to go up,
Hanson's a good player. Hanson's a very good player, and they did spend money on him, whatever. But I think they can do better than Hanson. I wasn't massively impressed with him when they came to our place. Got injured again yesterday. I think if they bring in two real pacey wingers, one either side, I know they've got Stansfield. Kwame Poku would be fantastic if they can get him. I doubt it. But
I think Darrow will get. One thing I will say as well, Birmingham, bar the three clubs that got relegated last year from the Premiership, commercially earn the most money. So that is why they're allowed to spend as much money. Brilliant to see. We will move on because we've got 5 games to cover. We've got half an hour left. I'll let you take this one because I kind of took over the Birmingham one. Stevenage 0, 2. Smith and Kai with goal. They're like buses, especially Butler's bus, because he's late again, isn't he? You wait a while for a win, 2 come along at once. Great result. And this is what we say when you play Saturday, Tuesday, Saturday, how your season can just turn around. Yeah. Look how much it's turned around in the last 96 hours by winning 2 games of football. Yes, there's still 4 points adrift. Yes, there's still a long way to go. But they've got Burton, who are bottom of the league at the weekend, which also you lose that, and Burton have got the upper hand, and Cambridge are back down there.
Staying up again. Ole, ole. That's what the Cambridge fans were singing last night, and if you believe them, then you're going to find it difficult to believe them because back-to-back win, Benz. You're absolutely right. The win against Wigan on the weekend, backed up, I think, more importantly, by a really good win away at Stevenage. Stevenage, by the way, who only lost 1 home game this season. I'm surprised that's not on your bingo card. I'm
out now.
But they're really good at home, Stevenage, and they play a really good style of football. By all accounts, they were on it last night. Ravel said for some reason he didn't feel like they played to their best ability. By the sounds of it, Piergiani's going to be out for Saturday. I think they've got a bit of a defender crisis going into the game against Rotherham. No Sweeney, no Piergiani. I think they've got no Luther, Wilding, so going to be tough for them to go to Rotherham. But really, really impressed by Cambridge again, and it just shows you one win can breed confidence and momentum. all of a sudden these Cambridge players knew how to win. Remember when Gary Monk won his first game, he won a second game straight away, didn't he, on the Easter weekend?
Yeah.
So, and look, Cambridge, next couple of fixtures, like you say, Burton at home, they'll be thinking, you know what, back-to-back wins, Burton just sat the head coach, thinking they could get a win there. Then they've got the Cambridgeshire derby. That might be a little bit tough, but games at home for Cambridge are going to be so pivotal if they want to stay up. And Corey Smith getting back in amongst the goals. He had his goal cruelly taken off him on the weekend. Sully Kai we know is an extremely good footballer at this level, certainly in the lower half. So look, really pleased for Cambridge to go back to back. Their performances at the start of the season warranted way more points than what they got, similar to Crawley that we spoke about earlier. But I'm happy they're getting wins. Stevenage, I think Stevenage is still a good side. Right, I think Stevenage are still a good side. They've got the big game against Rotherham at the weekend, and then Reading at home, and then they got Blues away. So yeah, it's tough. It's tough for Stevenage, but Crawley, I'm so happy for Cambridge. I am so because I'm a big listener. I'm a big listener to you, Taspen, and we've both been on that podcast in the last sort of maybe 18 months, 12 to 18 months or so, and they have been really not depressed to listen to, but they've been really downbeat about the time with Gary Monk and stuff, and they make a joke out of it. And I can tell that they're not feeling the overall best, but I can imagine they're bouncing off the walls at Utah's HQ at the moment. Back to back wins. Yeah, really good lads, really big lad. Big up the Swindle. Absolutely love them.
Absolutely. And if you are new to this channel, please give us a like. Please subscribe. We're very close to 16,000 subscribers. I think we're just over 280 away now. So if you fancy giving us a subscription, it's free to do so. And also, let us know in the comments who you support as well, because it'd be very interesting to see where the representation comes from this league as well. Still 4 games to go. We'll obviously spend as much time on these games because they're not quite as good games, but over the course of the season, your team will get more time. It was a late second half goal from Leyton Orient to win it, well, midway through the second half, you could say as well. Great way to respond for Leyton Orient after a difficult week. Rotherham yet again at higher expected goals. They only had 2 shots on target though for the Joys as well. When you look at Steve Evans' start, he's won 3, he's drawn 5, he's lost 5. He's not as bad as you feel with Rotherham, but they've just never really got any momentum going. When you look at it this year, well, they beat Cambridge, they beat Reading, and you think they got a point away at Peterborough in a game. I think they were 3-1 up as well. What a guy, by the way.
Tricky tone.
Tony. So I do upload membership videos on this channel, and we've done 25. We'll go through them quickly as well, and I'll tell you, if you want to be a member, and I'll tell you who has won the membership as well on this channel. If you want to become a member, you will get access to videos from, hang on a minute, I uploaded my playlist yesterday. You get videos of the Ultimate League One Roundup, my opinion on every League One club last year. The quiz against Jake was a good one. Getting to know the League One live group between me and Jake as well. Behind the scenes of a Cos Vlogs away weekend. A walk around Fleetwood. Full League One playoff predictions. How I prepare for the playoff predictions. A 30-minute vlog at Wembley. A walk around Fleetwood again with Nappers Part 2. An update from League One. Euro 2024 predictions, England draft against Jake, a walk around where I live, not Fleetwood, a night at the darts, where I put all the clubs in the 92, behind the scenes of the opening day of the season at home, League 2 preview, which was half an hour long as well, a ferry trip, how I prepare for a live show, hosting the podcast with Mark Helm as well, a catch-up Q&A, and I did a quiz yesterday. So if you fancy joining down below, the people who have won memberships are as follows. Thank you very much, Tony. Hang on a minute. Susan Lawson, John Merrill. I think I've got these right. I'm not the greatest of spellers. Andrew Rawlinson.
Sam Numble.
And Dave Sandel. There you are. They are the people that have won them. So thank you very much, Tony. And go and watch the ferry trip. That's my favourite one. So if you fancy becoming a member, $1.99 a month, you get 4 extra videos per week, 4 extra videos per week, 4 extra videos per month as well, and maybe a few other things as well. So get get a member. We've got 56 members now, thanks to Tony. So if we get up to 60, I'll give 5 away myself as well. So there's a deal by the end of the show. Talk me through Leyton Orient Rotherham.
I mean, it was again like the chap saying in the chat here. It was a little bit like there wasn't really a great deal between the two sides, to be honest. Rotherham not Rotherham. Leyton Orient just took the chance when it came, and to be honest, I was surprised to see that Leyton Orient score because they get in so many good positions and they don't pull the trigger and they miss them. And they had a couple of opportunities on Saturday away at Northampton that they didn't take. And I'm just surprised that they've started taking them. So, look, really good win. I think defensively, they're not a bad side. Just going forward where they have the issues. They've got a lot of injury issues, haven't they, at Leyton Orient with Theo Archibald's been out. Ethan Galbraith has got a spell on the sideline. But I was impressed with Leyton Orient. I massively
that, Jake.
Yeah,
Go on there, nappers. Some numble.
It's not an hard one, is it? It's not a hard one. It's not like it's
Jake underscore
Tonge, like my graduation said.
Did they?
Yeah, Jake Tonge, and my grandma physically booed, which was fun. So maybe it was a good win. Really, really important. I needed to bounce back after back-to-back defeats, Orient, and they did it at home. They've not perhaps been as good at home as they have been away from home. So really, really good for Orient. For Rotherham, well, I'm surprised, Ben, on your bingo list, you've not gone for Steve Evans slander, but I do
think about that.
I do start to wonder when that man might well come under pressure. I know, speaking to the chaps at New York Talk, that they weren't massively enamoured when he was appointed. Since he's built them up and he's bigged them up in pre-season and stuff like that, and now look at them. They're nowhere near where they should be. And we keep saying, Ben, it's Rotherham. They've got too many good players. They'll hit a groove. They'll find someone that works. And they'll just go. And they'll just go. And they'll just go. And they'll just go.
They've not found any momentum.
They've not. They win one and lose one. They are as mediocre League One as you get. And they will be under that chap.
Bristol Rovers, great result for them.
No, do the accent. Come on.
Well, you do it. I don't want to fumble it myself.
Bristol Rovers, come on the gas.
Me lover. Bristol Rovers this season so far. If you were to tell me at the start of the year, Bristol Rovers, after 12 games played, would have 16 points, won 5, drawn 1, lost 6, I'd just think, yeah, that is. If you'd have told me that record and said, give me a club that you think, the first club I would have said would be Bristol Rovers. Genuinely, it would be. Good 1 minute, not so great the next. Positive, that's 3 wins in 4 for only the second time under Matt Taylor, which is a good result for them. 16, look, they're only 3 points when you look at it off Huddersfield in 5th. So it's not all bad, but the performances in games haven't been great. Away at Huddersfield, home to Wigan as well. They've got Reading at the weekend. They've got Lincoln. They've got Crawley. They've got Mansfield. Those 4 games are massive for them. They've got to go and get, in my eyes, 7 points to really stamp their authority. They want to do well. They want to push on. They've never really done that. But Shrewsbury, again, in a game where they actually played okay yesterday. 1.34 expected goals. Had 4 shots on target as well. But they're struggling up there. I thought Marquis did all right, isolated up there with Lloyd.
What about the goal, Ben?
It's a difficult game.
What about the goal that Shrewsbury scored?
Talk me through it.
Well, he got given offside, but he wasn't offside. So Bristol Rovers got.
I'll be honest with you, I've not seen the offside goal. I got home from work at 7 o'clock, mate. I've done as much.
I know. I've only seen it because I've seen it clipped on Twitter, and the chaps from Shrew's Analysis have put it on. He's onside, and Shrewsbury fans will agree because we came on here on the weekend and spoken about some officiating decisions that didn't go their way. It's happened again yesterday. But for Bristol Rovers, I think the answer to that is no, Scott. We haven't. It was. Do you know what the difference for Bristol Rovers, Ben, is Shaq Ford. I think Shaq Ford had a really good loan spell at Leyton Orient last season. He's been on the bench a lot for Bristol Rovers, and that really surprised me because towards the back end of last year, he scored quite a few goals and looked really potent. And I think they need to get him in the side because the centre forwards that they've got, Promise hasn't been delivering as well as what we know he can do. So Shackford offers something completely different, not the physical threat, the in behind threat, and yeah, really, really good. I think he goes and sets the goal up. Then Shrewsbury that they work so hard, they score a goal which should be given, and then the thing is, Nap, as we said on Sunday, if Matt Taylor wasn't going to win against Shrewsbury, would his job be in peril? And I think had the linesman have done his job correctly, we could be sat talking about Matt Taylor being under even more pressure and potentially have lost his job, a bit like Robbo. So, yeah, I don't know. I think Shrewsbury, the performances, certainly since that Crawley game where they won 5-3, have been genuinely quite positive. A lot better than what I thought they would be. I think they need to keep Castledine fit and in the team if they're going to be able to do anything this year, because he's their main threat. But I like the fact that George Lloyd is getting in goal-scoring positions. John Marcus, we know, has scored goals at this level before. He misses a few, but he does score a couple. It was a good game, and I think Bristol Rovers got away with one, personally. But like you say, them 4 games, they'll want to be taking some points, certainly at the moment, because they've got a bad record at home.
Will's got it spot on. Refs have maybe cost
Yes.
in the last 2 games. And when you clubs like Shrewsbury, I don't think you get decisions from my perspective, especially when luck's not going and you're in the bottom 4, you're struggling for form, you're struggling for momentum. Quickly going on to the last 2 games now. Stockport, you mentioned at the start of the year, maybe the momentum had swiveled out a bit. 1 win in 8, but 1 draw in 8. 1 defeat in 8. They've drawn 6. It's another late heartbreak for them. They scored in the 87th minute. Northampton find a way to get a point.
Won a penalty though.
For Northampton, it's a good point for them. Away from home, 12 points. Good week for them. Responding really well. That's what they need to do. For Stockport, they take 18 points after 11. This is kind of where I saw them at. But after the first 3 games of the season, it's quite disappointing. That's Louis Barry's 7th goal of the season now. He's on fire. They've got a tough few games coming up. You've got obviously Wycombe, Bolton coming up as well. They've also got Reading and they've got the Imps on Saturday. Talk me through this one. Good point for Northampton, but Stockport, 87th minute goal. Oh.
This is both. If you speak to both fan bases, I think you'll hear the same thing, criticising the referee on a decision that led to the opposition goal. The game apart, I think it probably could have ended 0-0. There was the penalty that Stockport were given is not a penalty. I think the referee's just fallen for it a little bit. There's a bit of grappling, but for me, it's not a penalty. It gets given, and then I think the Stockport issue for the Northampton goal is that before the free kick is given, they should have had a free kick. So therefore, the Northampton goal shouldn't stand. So you got both fans saying the exact same thing. Oh, your goal shouldn't have stood. Well, neither should yours. And it makes for a little bit of comedy. But yeah, Northampton, really good character to go to Stockport. Great point for them. I know they had a little bit. I listened to the It's All Cobbers to Me pod this morning while I was sipping on a can of energy drink that I won't say the name of.
What did you begin with?
C. And there's a cup named after it. I'll give you that. It wasn't that one. And they were very pleased with that result. And I think they've got Crawley at the weekend, Northampton, followed by Lincoln on the road on Tuesday. So again, they'll be thinking that's a chance for them to go get some more points. So yeah, Stockport, I was quite disappointed in. Like you have been, they set off like a rocket on fire. Rocket on fire. Rockets are on fire anyway. A house on fire. But then they stalled a little. Hopefully Ben House is on fire on Saturday. He needs to be. I agree with your Stockport analysis, but just thought I'd get in about the referee. I think both sets of fans will be disappointed.
Last game, I think we can quite frankly. Very poor game in terms of statistics. Look at it 50-50 in terms of attack, one shot to 3 on target. Both looked a bit jaded from results at the weekend as well. It took a lot out of you. Very frustrating. I think Wrexham only made the 1 sub as well. Palmer coming off. I think that Huddersfield lacked something up front as well. Didn't really look potent in the game. I think a point gain. I think Wrexham will be disappointed for how good they've been at home over the last few years. It's the first game they haven't won. Huddersfield, it's another point gain. I think it's their actual first draw of the season as well, after winning 6, drawing 5. But a good bit of run of form now, 7 out of the last 3.
Good point for each, Ben. I think, like you say, Wrexham will be more disappointed because they're at home and they've had a 100% record at home. But to draw against Huddersfield, and it's really important when you play teams that you expect to be in the same area of the table as you, do not lose. Do not lose ground. By winning, they've allowed Huddersfield they've kept Huddersfield at arm's length. Yeah, good point for both, I think.
Absolutely. So 5 minutes left. We've done 75 minutes there, considering, there was so much to talk about. If you've got any questions, get them in down below as well. Jake, where can they go and find your podcast?
Oh, which one, mate? That Football League podcast dropped on Monday. Was a good episode, still hosted by the great 4-0 written all over it. He had a bit of a nightmare last night by the sounds of it as well. And then the Here for the Lincoln podcast. We haven't done a review of last night yet. It will be coming, but there is a Stockport preview that should be up either tomorrow night or Friday morning if you are interested. But Here for the Lincoln on all your podcast platforms of choice, or HFTL1884 on social media. And then my Twitter personally. I'm on the road to 1.5k. So if you could come and follow me, I'm about 120 away now. And can I say my Danilo Orsi stat really quickly? Because David's messaged me and had a go at me that I haven't done it yet. Danilo Orsi becomes the first Burton Albion player to score in 4 consecutive league games since Lucas Akins in 2019. There you go. An hour late. There you are.
There you are.
I'm a performer.
Good lad. Yeah, so any questions, let us know. We are starting towards maybe another month or so, we'll go to the table, maybe once every 2 weeks as well.
We don't need to go to the table yet because we're not in the playoffs. So it's all
15
good.
games, I think, is the first
15
thing.
games. We'll be in the playoffs.
Yeah, better late than never. Yeah. So any question, do you think League One is more or less? I think
more.
there's more clubs that can get into the play. I think at the top of the table, I think it's less. I think that we know the winner, and it's a bit like, like where last year for a long could have been, Bolton we've got 3 games in hand, game in hand FC, and then you've got Derby, then you have Portsmouth for a bit as well. You had Exeter and Port Vale for a tiny bit as well. But you really
I was speaking to Ben McQuaid from the Fan Zone podcast today, actually. And we were chatting, and we think there's 14 teams that could finish between 2nd and 16th, and I wouldn't know what order they're going to finish in because they could all finish. You could have a reason for putting all of them in that area. So
yeah, I agree with that.
I think it's more competitive. Last year you had Pompey, Derby, and Bolton and Peterborough were the 4 best teams, and the rest of them weren't nowhere near them.
Yeah,
there's not, apart from Birmingham, there's not a top 4. I know it's 10 games in or whatever we're in now, 11 games. So,
do you think Portsmouth come back down?
I'm going to say no because I don't want to upset Tom.
I think they'll stay up. I think it's just mad how 3 days can beating QPR, and then they lose at QPR, and all of a sudden the mentality's gone. Where they play Friday, Fratton Park. I think if they lose Friday, all of a sudden, wow. Do you know what I mean?
I've been worried. I am worried because Schmid went off injured. Your Schmid, went off injured. But Jordan Archer did really well last night by all accounts.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yes, I am coming down to the men, Ben. I am. And I'm also going to Exeter for a 12:30 kickoff. Yeah. Come on, I can't wait.
Absolutely. So we are going to leave you there. Thank you for the support. It's been a crazy few days. On Saturday we had obviously a Fleetwood vlog away at Vale. Sunday we had a League One live show. We uploaded a members video as well on Tuesday. Sorry, and then obviously last night as well we uploaded the crew vlog. I was up late editing that, and then tonight we've had prep for this, and then late in the week we've got some exciting content coming as well. Jake's going to be the centre of some of it as well. So please leave us a like. That'd be very much appreciated. Just drop a like, and if you haven't already, please press subscribe for us. It will mean a lot. and you'll see my videos on your page. We go live every Sunday with League One Live and League Two Live on a Monday as well. But League One Live after every big game week, if there's 6 or 7 games or more, we'll do a League One kind of deep dive as well. And
We should
we
be
try
fine
to
for the next international break, Ben, because there's no under 21 call up. So you'd imagine less games will get postponed.
Hopefully so. Thank you for watching, everyone. Until next time, I've been Nappers. Thanks for watching. Jake, thanks for joining me, mate.
Thank you very much. Enjoyed it. Now I am going to sleep.
Thank you. Not going to Manchester.
No, I've never been to Manchester. I never parked on that bloody road.
Manchester. You're Smith.
Thank you.
Thanks, Rich. Thanks, Susan. Thanks, Ben. Thanks,
See you
Tony,
Saturday.
legend that is. Absolute phenomenal.
Tony, you deserve some honey roasted ham sandwiches for your kindness.
You can become a member down below. Just
They were good.
join the family.
And she did Rocky Road, Ben, and brownies, and they were phenomenal.
Oh,
by the way.
That's coming. Don't worry, David.
That's coming in August 2025 on League 2 Live.
Your co-host is Josh Talk CFL.
Yeah, you won't be in League 2, so don't worry about that.
National League. You know how hard that's been this year, mate, to learn a totally new league. I'm just getting to grips with it now.
Could you imagine if you have to learn the National League? National League Live.
On a Tuesday night, I have to do it from Highbury, wouldn't I?
Hello, lads and ladies, and welcome to this and today.